I have been on the lookout for one of these sideboards or buffets for a long time. I finally found one and I'm going to share with you how I gave it a makeover. Hi there and welcome to Soul Station. Here's my inspiration and here's what I have to work with. I picked this up at the Goodwill for $65. It's in pretty good condition, however, the finish has a lot of runs in it. I don't know if it'll show up in the video, but if you can see, there are a lot of runs in this finish. And what I'm worried about is that when I paint it, it's gonna make it look like the runs are from my paint, and I don't want that. Like here, can you see? This right here and up here, I don't know if it's not really showing up in the video, but there's just a lot of runs in the finish. So I'm gonna try and sand it down a little bit and see if that helps. Here, I think you can kind of see there are some runs, some drips here. And here, there's like a big run in the finish. So there, you can kind of see it. Yeah, I think that when this clear coat was put on here, the polyurethane or whatever it is, it was just put on too thick and maybe kind of rushed on, and there's drips. And so I'm gonna try and sand some of that out because I don't want it to look like I did a terrible paint job. Now, of course, the right way to do this would be to strip this finish off and then lightly sand it before I paint it. However, I have 2 days to get this ready for my next market. So I am just going to go ahead and clean this really good, and then I'm going to lightly sand on those heavy runs. I'm trying a new paint. This is Rust-Oleum's furniture paint, and I'm using a matte black. And this is not my favorite, I'll be honest, because the finish did not come out as flat or matte. It was kind of shiny. I prefer to use a chalk paint, but this was what I could find in the black color I wanted on short notice here in our small town in Montana. Since the weather has been getting colder, our cats like to come inside. I don't like them to be inside very much, but when they do, they always like to curl up in the funniest places. Whenever I'm applying paint on furniture, I use a combination of my paintbrush and then a mini roller. And the roller just helps to get the paint on and get good coverage, and then I'll go back over with the brush and just smooth out any lines and get into the areas that I can't get the roller into. So often I have these projects that I want to do, or these ideas that I think of, and then I procrastinate and I put them off and put them off because I'm afraid to get started. I overthink it. I think there's too much work, or I am nervous about how it's going to turn out because I think it's going to take too much work. Do you have anything in your life like this, any projects or any situations? I applied 3 and in some areas 4 light coats of this paint. I don't think I can ever get tired of the beautiful views and scenery here in Montana. I hope that you enjoy seeing a little bit of this too. Do you live in the mountains, or do you live by the ocean, or do you live in the flatlands? That's where I grew up in Minnesota. It's pretty flat there. So I really, really appreciate the view here. If you look really close, you can see a little bit of some of the runs in the paint finish because I didn't fully strip it, but it's not bad, and you really do have to look pretty close. Seal it, I'm going to be using Dixie Belle Clear Coat in Satin. I'm using this foam sponge to apply the clear coat, and then I use my brush to pull it through and to get into the areas where the foam sponge just doesn't reach. Just the other day, I came to realize so much more about what Jesus said in Matthew 11, where he said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you'll find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." I've read that many times, but I just saw it in a whole new light recently, that like the burdens he's talking about is the guilt that we have of our shortcomings, or the things that we're not doing. Things that maybe we've done in the past and we are feeling burdened by that guilt or the shame of it. The Lord does not want us to carry that burden. That's what he's talking about. He wants us to give all of that to him. He doesn't need us to do things for him. He invites us to join him in the things. But if we're weary and we're burdened by all of the things that we're not doing, or the guilt, then we can't come before him in spirit and truth like he wants us to. Thank God his mercies are new every morning, and his way is always better. After cleaning the hardware, it wasn't quite as shiny brass as I wanted, so I used some rub and buff and a little paintbrush, and I applied that onto the hardware. I wanted to do something nice inside of the drawers, and I had some of this peel and stick wallpaper left over. I didn't have enough to do all of the drawers, but I had just enough to do inside the doors, and so I measured and cut that out, and then I just applied it inside of the doors. Okay, let's take another look at this before I started. It doesn't look too bad, but remember my inspiration? Really been wanting to have a black sideboard like this for a while, so I was excited to find this one, and also remember the runs that it had in the finish. Well, this finish turned out pretty nice, even though I didn't fully strip it. It still looks very elegant, and I love the contrast of the gold on the black finish. If you have a piece of furniture or a project that you have been wanting to do but think that you need to do more work than you're willing to get into, maybe look at it again. Maybe you don't need to do quite as much as you think you do, and it will still turn out nice. Well, thank you so much for watching and for being here and for liking and subscribing to my channel. God bless all of you.